this, Bizen?
It's me, Dr. Karling.
I'm afraid I don't know a me, Dr. Karling. You'll have to be more specific.
It's Sera, your assistant, Dr. Karling.
Oh, Sera! So good of you to join me at last.
Forgive me for my impertinence, Doctor, but my shift doesn't start.
Come, mein Kind is told the time waits for no man. Or woman, for that matter. Possibly even more so for a woman, I should imagine. Ah, well, who's to say? Come, take the seat. Now then, what was it you wanted to say to me? Oh, no, ever are my manners. Oh, one of these days, I'm going to walk out of here without my trousers on. Oh, they would have me locked up in the loony bin before you can say, get that man out of here before the children see him.
Yes, well, be that as it may, Doctor.
That's doctor to you, Missy.
Yes, well, be that as it may, Doctor.
Wunderbar. Now, what seems to be the issue here?
Well, I'm glad you asked. As it happens, the university has just been in contact with me. They were very impressed by your most recent studies into the field of quantum supervacuum fluctuation, and they were wondering if it yielded any significant results vis-a-vis your paradigmatic interpretation of the Huxley-Burns superparticle nanogram theory.
Oh, well, I don't want to brag, but, well, truth be told, 9.
No?
9.
Nothing at all.
Not even a tiny thimble's worth of enlightenment, I must admit.
Yeah, right.
Only, I've been very busy, you see. Not mit der research conferences und the journalistic inquiries und meine complimentary erotic film subscription finally being renewed. Well, a man only has so many hands, and I can tell you that mine have been well and truly. Yeah, well, that being said, that does appear to be the proverbial fly in the metaphorical ointment.
What does? The fact that you've no relevant findings to present, or the fact that you're spending all this time watching
Mine special happy films? They make my pee feel happy.
Dr. Karling, I really do suggest that you take this more seriously.
I am taking it seriously, very seriously. Look, I have mine research notes in here on everything.
Dr. Karling, that is a doodle of a man playing squash with a badger.
Achtung! It is well and truly no such thing, I will have you know. That is quite clearly a woman and a cat. See me to little biscuity doodles.
Doctor, I suggest that you either return to your research at once, or you admit to the university that your project has all but hit a dead end.
And what? Do you think maybe they will give me an extension or a second chance to make good of that?
Well, in all likelihood, they'll repeal your grant until you can prove your research is worth something.
So essentially what you are telling me is that all I really need to do is to prove to the university that my research is still worthwhile and they won't pull the plug on my lab?
In essence, yes.
Well, that's quite all right then, isn't it?
I'm sure it is. Look, I'm going to get us both some coffee. A nice hot drink will give you all the nourishment you need to get the old brain cells into full gear.
Yeah, you do that. Now then, time to make the science. Let's see. If I take the 2, and I carry the 4, and I, Oh dear. Goodbye, cruel world!
Doctor, what are you?
What does it look like I'm doing? Honestly, you silly women! If it isn't about shoes or babies, you don't understand! Makes a man wonder, it does!
Jesus Christ, Karling, what the hell do you think you're playing at?
I'm afraid I am simply too good for this one, Sarah. It's time for me now to find salvation in the sweet, dusksome embrace of death eternal.
No, that's just silly. Accurate, but no. Karling, get down
No!
there.
No!
This is just a temporary setback. We can fix this. You know we can, right?
It's all just a joke, Sarah! My research has become nothing!
Become.
Yeah. Such is the case, I must admit. Oh, if my fellow men of science could only see me now, they would probably lock me in a cage and throw peanut shells at me. Maybe it's time I take up other interests, yeah? Like the rock climbing or the spearfishing. Or collecting the antique war memorabilia. Maybe I will open an erotic dance club and spend my days awash in the sweet, harsh odor of forgotten shame and familial neglect.
Doctor, I hardly think that's the answer to your troubles.
You don't know that!
Doctor, let me assure you that watching highbrow art house erotica on an old German VHS tape is not the answer to everything.
You don't know that! You don't know that! You're a big mean dumb cop! You're mean and ugly and stupid and I hate you!
Dr. Karling! For fuck's sake, man! Just because your research is at a dead end doesn't mean you want to go and hang yourself like some doped up serial masturbator! Bert, what would you do if I wasn't here? Okay, there we go. Easy done. There's a good manic depressive man of science. I'm sorry I slapped you, okay? I just lost my temper. It happens, sometimes. More so than usual with you, perhaps, but such is the way of the world, correct? This is just a temporary setback, alright? It will be alright. We'll figure something out, and that's a promise. Now, just sit here and work on your career-altering masterpiece until I get back. Your coffee's still there. I trust you won't try anything silly like that again now, will you? What was that, Doctor? I didn't quite hear you. What are you going to do?
Sit here and work on my career-altering masterpiece until you get back.
And?
Not try to shed this wretched mortal coil and plunge headfirst into the endless abyss again for the fourth time this week.
Good boy. Now remember, I'll only be a second.
Stupid dumb cop. Go die of fire. Oh, Frederick. What is a man to do? I haven't been so upset since my father was brought out and shot by the communists. Stupid papa. Science. Stupid science. Yeah, science. I show them. I show them. Oh yeah. Yeah! Eureka!
I swear to God, if that wretched man hasn't got his head screwed on the way today, I'll bloody well get a piece of my mind, so I damn well will. I could probably kill him. I'm sure I'm capable of taking another human being's life. Make it look like an accident. I could even see it coming. Maybe it would be a real suicide. Maybe he won't die, and he'll go mental, and I'll get to pull the plug out and everything! That'd serve him right, the hack job too, with piss-stained, ungrateful... What do I call it?
Guten Tag, Hans!
Buggy you anyway.
Oh, and I see you are tidying up after yourself with everything. My, but aren't you a decent little old pumpernickel? Alas, such a tidy and organized mind cannot afford to become too blind with the true wonders of the wide open world that even now is all around us. Oh, and Sera, whatever are you doing? You should be helping your good friend, Dr. Karling, not dropping your notes and papers everywhere. You silly little clumsy cads.
So, what joys from the wonderful world of scientific achievement and empirical inquiry has the good Dr. Karling brought for us today, pray tell?
Oh, well, it just so happens that absurd clumsy cads over there has told me about our fair university's so-called inquiry into the status of my research project.
The one on the Huxley-Burns superparticle nanogram theory?
Yeah, of all that one.
Well, what's the issue with it? Haven't you been working on it for the past 2 years?
Ja und nein.
Elaborate, please.
What I mean to say is, yeah, of course I've been working on it for the past 2 years. And also, 9, I have not.
So what have you been doing? What dare I even ask?
Oh, you know the usual.
Eating weak old pretzels and huffing paint? Trying to prove your research is worth something whilst pissing all over science's good name?
What? I would never piss on science. Science is a lady, and must therefore be treated with respect. And if necessary, a furnace is strapped to the adjacent posterior.
Dr. Karling, I think we would all benefit if you got to the point of this academic venture.
Oh, yeah, this academic venture. Oh, how charmingly silly of me. How delightfully absurd I am. Why, it's a wonder the college does not give me the grant based on my gloriously edifying persona alone. I mean, research, eh? Silly men of science. Yeah. Well, I suppose it is high time that you two learned of precisely what I have been up to all this time.
You mean to say you haven't just been crying into your own toilet bowl and flushing away the college's money into the bowels of hell itself?
Far from it, mein Freund. As soon you shall see. I have here the very thing that will make mine career as we know it. This is the unmitigable masterwork that will make the name Dr. Karling Hermenwacker von Schumpfergruben Eimenweissen a moniker of legend and glory.
So, can we see it, Dr. Karling?
Patience! Let the awe-inspiring wonderment of this very moment sink into every pore and orifice of your fleeting mortal forms!
For the love of God, Karling, just show us the damn wonderments already!
Yeah, fine. If you're going to be so bloody pushy about it. Gentlemen, behold, what I give you, der Oberkatz!
Is that a cat?
Jawohl, und not just any cat, der Oberkatz!
Oh, sweet Jesus, what fresh hell is this?
Dr. Karling, I have to ask as both a scientist and a morally sound human being, what do you intend on doing with this cat?
Her name is Müfty.
Yes, of course. What do you intend on doing with, Müfty?
Mein kleiner Katz? Well, that's simple. I'm going to guarantee my job is what I'm going to do.
And just how do you intend to do that?
Hans, mein Kinderstrudel, what part of the gods themselves will gaze upon my awe-inspiring brilliance and we, my dear say, for what I have before me may very well be the greatest scientific achievements the world, nay, the universe has ever seen. Did you not understand?
I see. Then what?
Well, my friend, that's the best part. I am going to show the college that my research is still worth something by, and here's the best part, feigning the existence of any substantial results at all.
Are you telling me that you're basically going to trick the university into thinking you've done something, when really you've done nothing but bring a cat?
Oh, nein, mein Kinderstrudel. There's certainly a qualitative style of an experiment in here. A socio-cultural experiment, no less. I will be following in the footsteps of the greats, my heroes, no less. The likes of Dr. Sagan, Cooper, Kevorkian, and Phil will tremble before my genius.
I see. Actually, no, I don't.
I'm going to prove to the university authorities that the essence of my research lies not in the attainment of results, but in the scientific process itself. The passion, the drive, that is what makes science, science.
I think I may actually have to kill him.
Pardon, my friend?
I said I may actually have to kill you.
And you think the college is going to accept that?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not like they're going to know any different, is it?
As you say, Doctor. I have to ask, where did you find Müfty?
Oh, at the second-hand pet store. I believe the gentleman running the place said something about the intestinal worms, and I believe about the feline herpes.
I see.
Oh, this is going to be exciting! I'm already wetting my breeches in eagerness. I will make scientific history. Scientific history, I tell you. That will show those pompous academic buffoons who's a real danger to himself but others is.
What's the point in having a cat? Like, surely if the point is to deceive and obfuscate the college authorities, why do we need Müfty?
Oh, no reason, I just happen to like cats. Und now, meine Freunde, we must make haste. The universe's fundamental empirical paradigms shan't wait around whilst we scratch our heads and make wild, passionate love to each other.
What?
Never you mind. Come, come, meine Freunde, for there is much work to be done. And that is what I did on my holidays. Now, if you look over here, you will see my trip to the Everglades.
Doctor.
And my running with the Florida State Police.
Doctor.
And tries my mind to convince them that the bodies were given to me for strictly medical purposes. Oh, yeah, we are meaning to do this experiment? Yeah, jawohl, jawohl. Gentlemen, colleagues, meine Freunde, fellow men of science, perhaps you are wondering why I have called you all here today.
No, not really.
Not at all, in fact.
Oh, well, we may as well get started then, shall we? This is Exhibit A, quantifying the Uber cats. Now, the college authorities will no doubt be overwhelmed with fear and trepidation when faced with that which they cannot possibly hope to comprehend. Thus, in this stage of the experiment, we will get some comfortable and used to the presence of my adorable little Guten cats over here. They will thus need to understand everything about the Uber cats. Its habitat, its diet, its biology, and its earth-shattering implications upon the scientific community. Once this has all been duly assessed, we will be ready to move on to Exhibit B, beginning the experiment. Now, using the list of necessary apparatus as I have laid out to you, you are to follow mine every instruction to the letter. Is that clear?
Yes, Doctor.
Wunderbar, wunderbar. Now, please recite to me the list as I have granted them to you in their entirety.
22 ounces of crystallized nitroglycerine, 80 quarts of pressurized salt water,
4 matchsticks, 12 different varieties of smoked haddock, a number of fine quality veterinarian hair combs, and your absolute willingness to accept any and all personal and or spiritual mutations that may occur as a result of partaking in these masses.
All of them well and truly assessed for their utmost scientific necessity. At least, that is what they will think.
Doctor, where are we even going to get all of these things?
I'm pretty sure half the stuff in this list is technically illegal.
Well, meine Freunde, that is the genius of it all. They will think me to have it all on hand, while in actuality, it is all safely stored away in a series of shipping containers in rural Minsk. I will simply tell them that all we need are a few handy household appliances, the spoons, the forks, you know what, and we'll be good to go, yeah?
Rural Minsk?
I know some people, good people, honest people, took both of my kidneys once. My, what a glorious Friday evening that was. I really must ask how Gomez and Alan are doing, come to think of it.
So what's the purpose of this list then?
But I suppose they can take a look at it, of course. You can't do proper science without the list of things you may or may not even need at all. That is why they call it science. God in Himmel, sir. But for the loyal protege of the man whom was about to obfuscate, redefining the very essence of scientific understanding and empirical inquiries we lesser mortals know it, you're a bit of a dunce.
I understand, Doctor. Now, what else do we need to be looking into?
Well, I'm glad you asked. That brings me nicely and neatly onto Exhibit C, creating the Uber cats.
If I may hazard a guess, Doctor, is this just where we do as you say and keep our mouths otherwise firmly sealed?
Well, you sort of took the wind out of my sails by saying it for me, but yeah, I suppose it is what's the long and short of it. Very well then, no worries. We move on to the last stage of the experiment. Exhibit D, controlling the Uber cats.
What exactly does that entail, Doctor?
In this stage of the experiment, we will demonstrate to the court authorities how they can assert and maintain their dominance over the Ubercats.
And how exactly do they do that?
They do that by threatening to skin it alive if it doesn't do as it's told, of course. I find it often does the trick. Also, be sure to demonstrate that properly arranged and displayed cat pelt actually makes fine ornamental rugs and wonderful warm umbrellas for those cold winter mornings.
Oh, I see. Well, I must say, Doctor, I wasn't so sure about this research experiment of yours. Quite the opposite, in fact. I suppose I can take the local police off my cell phone speed dial function now. Am I right? And yet, I think the college authorities will see to it that you do have a future. And I'm sure a grant is in your future just as you believed it to be.
Oh, wunderbar, wunderbar! Then we must make haste, for they could be here at any moment. Now then, you two, begin setting up for the experiment, while I step outside to look mine absolute bestest. Oh, what a glorious day this shall be!
And I said, no, Papa, I don't want to be a scientist. I want to be an Olympic skiing champion. But he just said, Hans, my boy, say that once more and I'll leave you outside for another week. And that's not even
Not to pry, but I'm thinking maybe seeking help wouldn't be such a bad idea after all. Good morning, Dr. Karling. You're looking awfully chipper today.
Guten Morgen, Frau Sera. Guten Morgen, Herr Hans. I have just received the most wunderbar news.
You've contracted a flesh-eating disease and only have 2 weeks left to live.
Even better! I have just been in contact with the college and they want to keep me on the payroll.
Why, that is wonderful news.
Yeah, and that's even making mention of the best part. For they've also given me a promotion.
And what might that entail, Doctor? A new office? An increased paycheck?
Yeah, all that and more. They have given me their office on WC 212 on this building's 2nd floor and, not to mention, the pay raise of £2 and 10 pence every 10 years.
You must be thrilled, Doctor.
WC 212 on this building's 2nd floor. Isn't that the one that used to be a public toilet?
Yeah, I can think of no better place than where I might probe the innermost workings of the universe at large. Oh, and let's not forget, I added your name into the proverbial hat as well. You will also be reaping the rewards of my genius.
Oh, good Lord. Oh, is that so?
Jawohl, for you see, the college has agreed to hire you two as my tenured research assistants. Isn't that great? And not to mention Müfty's full-time care, of course. Oh, I'm so excited I could just die. Don't you think I might die? Well, needless to say, but I should say it all the same. I couldn't have done it without your help, meine Freunde. And as I say in the Vaterland, onwards and upwards. Deutschland, Deutschland, Mardell!
Good riddance to boot, you fuckface.
There, before the grace of God go we.
Good Lord. 4 years in the top school in Flensburg and a first-class honours degree in applied physics. And look where I end up. Amongst the slave dogs of a deluded, sociopathic Nazi party reject. You can't even tidy up after himself. Fuck me. I mean, does he even realise this was all just a setup?
Probably not, no. Though I can only imagine it's for the best that he never finds out of that.
Right, but is he really that self-deluded? Does not realise that this was all just a ploy to get him to calm the hold on for once in his miserable existence? The college authorities know exactly what he was saying. It's not like they even believed a word of it.
Of course, but for once in his miserable existence, he's happy. Just let him have his moment. And to be fair, the research committee did look impressed by his explanations of the experiment at hand.
I suppose.
And they did agree to keep him on regardless of his contributions.
Yeah, only because they thought he'd go berserk and shoot the place up and throw mustard gas at them if they didn't. The man throws a scene out of his attention and the college authorities are all over him, scrambling to clean up his pathetic little messes.
Well, I think that he deserves it. He is an intelligent man, for better or for worse. And the research committee's decision is final. That means Dr. Karling is here to stay.
Yes, well, we're tethered to the ungrateful sod for the rest of our academic careers now, aren't we?
True, true. At least we have perks.
Strange-looking cats, I must say.
At least we'll have some sort of mascot now, or something to that effect. And he is kind of endearing in his own way, when he isn't coughing up on people or scratching his nether regions in public.
Yeah, well, I do like cats. I mean, preferably ones that aren't ridden with veterinary diseases, but I suppose beggars can't be choosers.
I was on about Dr. Karling.
Oh, yes, of course, Dr. Conor.
And, you know, I think it's all for the best this way.
How so, dare I ask?
Well, now that Dr. Karling is our full-time employer, we'll be able to devote ourselves wholeheartedly to our empirical endeavours. I mean, that's why we chose these professions, isn't it?
Well, in my case, it was because my father was a domineering maniac, but I suppose you do have a point.
And look at Dr. Karling. I mean, I've worked with him for years now, and I've never seen him so happy, so full of life.
Piss and vinegar would be a more appropriate term, I dare say.
Well, regardless of all that, he's finally done it. He's finally attained the hallowed heights of Dr. Sagan, Cooper, Kevorkian and Phil, even if it is only in his own mind, of course. He's finally become one of his heroes, the intrepid, the bold, the daring, the amoral, the great and the good, the men of science. Meow.